Hello Aqua friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Nicole and today I'm going to show you how to combine techniques to set a certain mood for your painting. I am starting off with a mysterious type of background working wet on wet, and yes, I am working in my pajamas. So I am using some very neutral colors with a little bit pops of yellow and pink for my warm tones. For this magical part, some water, just plain water off of your hand, and it produces these lovely blooms. I am going and starting on the middle portion, the mid-ground of this horse, and working wet on wet. I am going to drop in my warm and cool colors to start putting in the shape of this horse. Some of the colors that I used were yellow ochre, neutral tint, sepia. I used a little bit of quinacridone red, Van Dyke brown, tiny bit of burnt sienna when it comes to the bird, which we will be leaving for later. So I'm moving on to his mane, and I'm trying to get, as far as the mid-ground of this horse goes, I'm trying to get as much done as I can while the paper is still wet. So I'm putting in all the colors that I need to, those grays, the sepia, working with a very wet brush here, but the strokes are still soft. Once that layer dries, going back over that mid-ground to get it darker. It needs to be a lot darker. So I'm coming in with some more very warm yellows, my browns, shaping this horse more so he has more of a three-dimensional look. I also used a little bit of blue as well. Some Peruvian blue for the cool colors parts of the horse. And I'm switching to a script liner brush. While it's still wet, I want to set that mood, that mysterious mood with these blooms, and have that texture consistent throughout my painting. Now, working on that foreground, not much there to work on. Same techniques, more blooms. Most important part of any animal subject is getting the eyes right. The eyes and the nose and the mouth. So I do spend quite a bit of time here. That's actually a reflection of another horse with a backdrop of the forest, reflection in his eye. So I laid down that first colors in the reflection in his eye, and now I'm taking a very watery mixture, and I am doing very light strokes, as you can see with my script liner brush, to get some texture in there as well. Getting another layer of gray in that eye, some darker colors. Continuing with the horse's hair, getting in those strokes. Getting those shadow areas along the mane. There's a lot of detail and brush strokes as far as the mane goes. So I'm using that script liner brush again. Now my cute little robin, I started off with some Van Dyke brown mixed with a little bit of burnt sienna for his belly. Going in with some neutral tint and building up some of the colors of his darker feathers. some sepia on his head with some Van Dyke brown. Working my second layer on my bird. Always painting in the direction the hair or feathers go, in this case working on the bird. Getting in the beak and eye. I really love this reference photo. It's like a promise of spring to come with the robin sitting on the horse's back, yet it's a very wintry scene. Going back to the eye, working on the eyelids, building up the gray colors that I see in the reference photo. Also important to get those gradations of color and making sure that you preserve your lightest areas and get your darks as dark as you need them to be to get the proper value. So the end of the painting, I am using my Dr. Martens bleed proof white to add all the light hairs on the horse, as well as his eyelashes. And getting all those highlighted areas that we need to. Using a script liner brush for the mane. Now comes the fun and a little nerve-wracking part of adding this snow. I have a milk consistency with my paint here, and I'm splattering the painting with a fan brush, knocking it against another brush. I think this works brilliantly. And I think it's a great combination of small and larger splatters. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial today, and I will see you guys next week.